I've got something special to share with you today. We're going to be going off to Dublin. We've already done deserted Dublin in the dessert department with the pastry chef at the Marion Hotel in Dublin. Now we're going to take a look at 30 days later in truly deserted Dublin, where the streets are like a ghost town. It's the most incredible, surreal looking thing. By the way, just a week ago, Matt Damon moved out of where he was marooned, if you can call it marooned. For a 3-month period, he was encamped in Dublin in a house you can rent in Dalkey, County Dublin, and you can find it online easily for 7,000 euros a week based on a 3-month rental. So there's every opportunity available. I have to tell you, moving out of Corner Cottage is going to be traumatic for me because I have fallen in love with this house. And you can stay here for a whole lot less than what Matt Damon was paying in County Dublin. I'm prepared for outings, and we do go out in our budget car rental, which is quite dramatic and wonderful. And we take all kinds of little visits, but it's really very sparse and rural. The roads are empty, the places you go are empty. Nonetheless, I liberated, that's an old army term, I liberated a pillowcase and I made a mask. Since then, I have been able to buy masks online. Nonetheless, there's my handmade special. And then I bought this wild and crazy hat, one for me and one for my husband. What do you think? Gorgeous, no? I'm going to take you off to County Dublin with my very good friend Mark Leslie, a creative genius, and apples don't fall far from trees, so both his son, Luke, who worked with him on this little film project you're going to see, and his daughter Leah, amazingly talented people. So let's go off to Dublin together and see Dublin in a way you will never see it, hopefully again, deserted.
Well, hi there. The last time we spoke, Stephanie, I was showing you my amateurish attempts to fly a drone. But today, I was going to show you my slightly more ambitious attempts to fly a drone over downtown Dublin. It's a bit scary, slightly sci-fi, having people spraying the pavements down in sort of spacesuits, or a bit apocalyptic. So this is my sort of slight ghost town horror film, Lockdown, where you see, as I said, Dublin Corporation films trying to sterilise the pavements before going up in my drone, where you can see the whole port of Dublin, normally full of ships, completely empty. And the fact that Dublin was in the middle of a property boom means that we have a forest of stationary cranes. Now they're talking about reopening the building sites soon, but it's slightly apocalyptic to just see so many abandoned construction sites, so many empty nightclubs and boarded up shops, and yet here we are in the beautiful heart of the Georgian city, which normally you couldn't move for traffic. We're far from being able to protect each other. In the middle of a rush hour, you can just walk up the main streets of Dublin and see them as they were in the 18th century, not ruined by parked cars everywhere. So from that point of view, we've all been taking maximum advantage of the fact that I was always terrified about accepting cycling as the future, because quite apart from the traffic fumes, your chances of being knocked over by a bus or a truck were pretty high. And now, it's just idyllic. Now, at the start of the lockdown, many of our beautiful park spaces like Merrion Square and St Stephen's Green were stupidly locked up and there was no public access to them. Now, in the last month, they've relented and realised that open space and fresh air are a good idea. So once again, we can run around these beautiful parks, But again, the air's so clean that when the odd jet goes over, we think, oh my God, there's life elsewhere. There's aeroplanes in the air. We didn't know. And all our canals are now beautifully clean, like Venice, with wildlife and fish and swans fishing around them. And you can walk for miles along the two canal paths that we in Dublin in beautiful fresh air. And ironically, although nobody's much using it, our public transit system, our trams and our metro, are like ghost trains. You see a tram go by with perhaps 2 people on it at the most. I've even seen this ghost train arriving in my local station, and I couldn't find a driver on it, never mind any passengers, and see a reflection of me filming the mysterious ghost train taking invisible people from God knows where to somewhere else. I didn't actually have the courage to travel alone on a completely deserted train, but I suppose they're keeping the people who run the transport system employed while advising people not to use it for fear of proximity to other people. So, we have a city of ghost trains, ghost buses and ghost trams mysteriously running with nobody much on them, which is quite savvy. Here's Dublin Castle, the political heart of Dublin. Not a person in sight. You can wander around through it, in it, on it, buried 28 days later. Here's the famous Grafton Street, our most expensive shopping street. No one, not a soul moving, everything boarded up. So again, it's a rather wonderful experience that should be relished. So I'm quite happy to go out with my new flycam and capture all of the delights of sort of life without motor cars. Here's all the stationary cars parked on the street where I live, and lots of people enjoying their back gardens, sunbathing, sitting around gardening, growing fruit or vegetables, because at the time this was taken, they weren't encouraged to only go out once a day, and that for just essential shopping. So people with back gardens were having a very placid life, planting vegetables, eating vegetables, listening to bird song, or in my case, flying my drone around parts of Dublin that I couldn't visit. And yet outside here we have the apocalyptic, and man seems to think that these stone balls are giant coronaviruses and he's given up on them. And here's me sending my drone for an afternoon walk along the canal, and nobody much in sight, no boats, no traffics. The cranes of Dublin stationary and silent. May all your listeners stay safe and come out of this the other end. May we adopt a slightly more thoughtful, sustainable lifestyle. Anyway, all the best, and roll on better times.
I wanted to share with you the beautiful flowers. I feel like I'm in the tropics. This could just as easily be somewhere in Hawaii. And in the background, you can hear the river running. And if we get lucky, aside from the birds, you're also going to hear the cuckoos that are out. Real cuckoos, mating and nesting, and that's what happens in the month of May. But I wanted to let you know that we are capturing this moment with you at 8:30 at night with no artificial lighting of any kind. And this is the time of year in Ireland where if you wanted to go out and play a round of golf, you could start now and finish before it's barely dusk. And add up your score, doing whatever creative accounting that you do when you add up your score, by natural light. You have such a long visiting and sightseeing day here. And I want you to come back again and again. We'll see you again soon.